All right, everyone, welcome to the conclusion of Ask the King for March 31st, 2023. This is episode 95. Yes, the show has been running for that damn long. I hope that you're enjoying it. It's hard to tell from the live stream, I'll be honest. It's actually one of the lowest engaged live streams I've had in a long time. So maybe people are just tired of the show. I don't know. Maybe you guys like the newer content here on DSP Reacts versus this older show. Let me know. The thing is, I'm all about feedback. I want to know what you think. I've been telling you guys 2 years ago that I thought maybe this show was getting played out and maybe we shouldn't really care that much about it anymore. But you guys essentially have asked me to keep the show in the rotation, to keep going with it. So that's why I am. Or I'm doing my best to keep on what people want. So that's why it's still going. Like I said, perhaps it is time. Maybe think about it over the course of the rest of this year. But let me know. Again, I love your feedback. Leave comments on the videos. Let me know on my streams. I need your feedback on what you think. All right? And please, share. But I mean, distinctly today, attendance on the stream, very low. Engagement, low. Obviously, support. Everything was low. So let's see what else happens if, or maybe it's just a one-off. You never know, right? Anyway, this is part 3. This will be the final part. All right? If you're watching live on stream, thanks for sticking with me and enjoying the stream. If you're watching on demand, this will be the third part for this show, and then the next one will be in a couple of months in late May. Again, to reiterate, I talked about this at the beginning of the show, but ways you can post up your questions. Number one, I've already made a thread on DSPgaming.com, which you can post up questions for the next show. That's already existing, all right? Around probably early May, people who are members on DSP Gaming or here on DSP Reacts will have a special thread on the community tab where you can post up your questions for the show. We've now gotten through all the member questions. So you saw how much of the show that was. It was a huge chunk. So members are a big part of this show for sure, okay? Now, in addition to that, there's other ways as well. Twitter questions. We're going to answer just a couple today. Like I said, a lot of trolls on there, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I really do feel like Twitter's on the way out for me for the stuff that I do. And then, of course, live on the stream as well, if you're a patron as well, right? So, there you go. Okay. Let's continue. Let's do a few more questions. These are going to be questions from the forums, all right? So, we've got Jidoze Kishimonimi 1. Jidoze Kishimonimi 1 says, listen to what a name. What equipment would you recommend for an aspiring game streamer to get? Do you have any suggestions to keep prices low and any advice you give them starting out? Well, if you're going to stream games, you have some key components that you need. Obviously, you need a capture device of some sort. The question is, what kind of games are you capturing and streaming? And do you care about the quality? A lot of people still to this day stream at 720p because they care more about, interaction with their community or whatever than the quality. I would recommend 1080p to be the standard for game streaming. Some people don't even do that, but I would say 1080p should be what you go for, in which case you want probably at least a mid-range capture device. You don't have to go top of the line and go crazy 4K stuff. Most people can't even watch stuff in 4K these days. I would just go for 1080p, all right? You're going to need a setup that's going to sound and look good. And what I mean by that is you're going to need a more professional grade mic. I've seen some people just buy a Yeti, and that's perfectly fine for their purposes. Me, I went for the professional grade many years ago, and I'm very happy I did because let's be honest, here we are many years later. It still works fine, still sounds good. So obviously it was a good investment of having a professional grade mic with a big tripod. Not a tripod. Well, it is a tripod, but it's got a this arm that holds it in place. This is a pop guard that stops from when I say pop, pop, pop. You don't hear like a big poof, poof sound hitting the mic. That's what that's for. I actually have an individual standalone music and audio capture device. I don't know what it's called. It's called a Scarlett something. And that's what these professional grade mic plugs into. All right, and then that converts it for USB to go into my computer. It's not just a plug and play USB mic I use. It's actually a professional studio quality mic, and that's why it's lasted so long as it has. And it's a really good mic. It's expensive. This mic's probably $200, but it's still really good. And that device over there I think was between 50 and 100. But hey, look at the longevity I've gotten out of it. We're using it all day, every day for some 8+ years, right? I just recently upgraded my lighting. My God, do I recommend a ring light? Now that I've used this for a few months, my God, using this ring light is so effing good. Look how different I look today than I did for all those years when I was using some crappy lamp in the background. I couldn't recommend a ring light more strongly. And this is a cheap one. This is one that's not expensive. It's a Kensington. This is a computer peripherals company that has made these kind of peripherals for many, many years. I think this was like 30, 40 bucks, this ring light, if that. And it has nice settings, adjustments. It has daytime. I use the daylight setting, but there's also a setting that's way brighter that makes you look more white and washed out. And, it has much more brightness than I'm using here. So tons of features, and it's cheap. Just sits right on your tripod. You have a little light adjuster. Super duper useful. Okay? You're going to want a webcam. I don't think you need to go crazy with a webcam. Most webcams today that say they do 1080p likely are good enough. This is not an expensive webcam I'm using. This is just a kind of a standard Logitech 1080p webcam from a few years ago, and it serves its purpose. Anything that says it's 1080p is probably going to be good enough, unless you're some kind of crazy, oh my god, I'm a model or something, and you want to be showing off makeup and shit. You probably don't care about the quality of your webcam that much. But I would say webcam, ring light, tripod for the ring light, professional grade microphone, or even just a Yeti you could plug in. It's like a cheap one for USB. That's fine as long as it doesn't sound terrible. You might want to invest in some soundproofing. I have soundproofing behind me. You can't really see it anymore because my setup, but I have it on the wall here, on the wall there, on the wall here. It stops the echo effect of the office sounding like a cave, because originally it did sound like a cave in here. When I added all this soundproofing, it stopped all of that, and now it doesn't sound like that anymore. It's actually kind of a more contained, muffled sound when you talk in this room, which is nice. But that's really about it. And of course, internet. You need good internet. You need high quality internet to stream anything. If you don't have good internet, it ain't gonna matter what equipment you bought. You won't be able to broadcast properly. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, that's what I would say. Now, there's all bells and whistles. Maybe if you're gonna sit there in front of your PC and you're gonna stream, then just use your PC. Personally, I like being over here on the other side of the room. I got a laptop in front of me with a laptop desk, a wireless keyboard. Comes in incredibly handy if you're not going to be sitting directly in front of the PC. And that way you can update stuff and do stuff when you're not just sitting there in front of your computer screen. Very useful. So there's other little things, little accessories, right? Headphones. Obviously you need some kind of headphones. The thing is, I've seen people just seriously just stream with standard stereo headphones, and they don't, it's not a big deal. Unless you're a crazy audiophile who's caring about full surround sound and stuff. You don't really have to go crazy breaking the bank on headphones or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, is it cheap to get into streaming? I would say no. You probably minimum $500 just for the bare basic low end stuff. Probably. You're talking around $750 if you're talking capture device, webcam, ring light, microphone, and a receiver device, or even getting like a Blue Yeti, and or headphones and everything you need. You're going to spend a good amount. But hopefully you'll get stuff that'll last and it'll get you into it. Those are the basics. There's way more advanced things you can get too, but you gotta start somewhere, But a lot of people think, oh, if I'm gonna get into streaming, I need $2,000. That's really not true. That's really not true. You could get away on sales and stuff, and you can get stuff for cheaper. You know what I'm saying? So, there you go. Hopefully that helps. The next question is from Puck Factor, who says, Phil, I've been a longtime viewer since 2009. I watched you as I've grown up. I'm now 25 years old, and I've just gotten out of the Army. I love playing video games, and I always have, but I've realized for me it's not realistic to earn a living. Okay. So I would like to ask, what career fields do you think are good for people like you and I? I know you used to work for a helicopter company, but what exactly did you do? Did you enjoy it? I'm really interested in your input on the question. It pertains outside to the streaming entertainment aspect of making a living. It's weird because it's different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's very different for everyone. How it's handled or what you would do in life. I held many jobs. I started off working at a fast food job, and I did that for several years through high school. Then I worked at Circuit City, an electronics and media store. Then I worked for I hate to say it, an offshoot of a bank that was considered a predatory lender. I didn't know that at the time, I really didn't. Now I understand what it is. Back then I didn't get what it was. And it absolutely 100% was a predatory lender that I was working for. So I only stayed there for about a year. Then I worked at Best Buy for a little over a year. Then I went and I worked at the helicopter company, So it's not like I consistently had one kind of job. I was kind of all over the place, whether it was retail sales, working for a bank, working for customer service for a helicopter company. And then when I worked at the helicopter company, they had me do so many different things. First, I was just supposed to be customer service. Next thing you know, they got me going for crazy training in continuous improvement and things. They got me learning about materials ordering. They got me learning about export licensing. It was a crazy stuff. It was like, geez, all this shit that they were having me do that was not in my job description. Gotta be careful about that, by the way. You work for corporate America and they keep having you do extra work and they're not paying you for it. There's probably a bad reason why. You know what I mean? But that's the thing, like, I couldn't even tell you consistently. What did I used to do? A million things. You know? A million things. I would have loved to... Must be a truck backing up outside. Do you hear that? I would have loved to stay at the helicopter company if they had kept with it and didn't lie to me about all the promises that they had made. They had absolutely lied about everything that they had promised me. Oh, if you do this extra work and we don't pay you for it, but you do the extra work, you'll get promoted. You'll be able to do this, which is what you say you like more than customer service. We'll do this. We'll do this. They, you know, they were just blowing smoke up my butt for 4.5 years, and they laid me off. So pretty messed up that that's how they treated me after all the work that I'd done at the company. And sadly, corporate America seems to still be like that. But I don't really have a definitive answer for you, only because I never really found one thing that worked for me that I did long term. You know, this YouTube gig, making videos, making content, live streaming, this is the longest I've ever done anything. Okay? So there you go. Okay, the final question from the forums is from Felix the Maid. Do you think streaming and making YouTube videos is worth the hassle in 2023? It all depends on what you're looking to get out of it. And it also depends on scale and many other factors, you know? Here's the difference. When I started in 2009, 2008, I guess, to now. In 2008, because YouTube and Twitch and everything was not massively oversaturated, okay? You could put out genuinely fun content that you just found fun. You didn't care about production value. You didn't care about how it looked, how it sounded. You could just have fun with something. And people would watch it. And people would enjoy it for what it was. Thank you for that free content. Thank you for that heartfelt content that you just made. We really appreciate that. That's free entertainment, and you put it out. You would be surprised to see the levels of positivity that there were back in the day. Incredible. Incredible. It didn't matter what you uploaded. As long as it put a smile on someone's face, it was like massive amounts of thumbs up. Back then it wasn't thumbs up. There was a star rating system. Tons of star ratings, high. Positive feedback on the videos and comments and things. It was night and day from today. Today, it seems like the vast majority of people out there are out to kind of crap on things. They're just, they are entitled haters who just, oh, you put it out, it better be like 5-star quality, insane, you know, oh my God forbid that there's blurriness in your video. God forbid that your mic doesn't sound good. God forbid this, that. Because that's what happens when you have so much oversaturation and you have so many people competing for a space and competing for people's attention, is that you're going to see people who are just becoming overly critical about those little things that didn't used to matter, right? It definitely used to be like that. So here's the thing. You're becoming a content creator in 2023. It's probably completely different from what I went through. And I wouldn't be shocked if you sit there day in, day out, putting out good content, and you can't be discovered, and the people that discover you are toxic, you know? I wouldn't be shocked at all to hear that. I wouldn't know. I don't have that experience because, you know, I've been around for 15 years. But, yeah, it's sad that people don't get that genuine first-time chance today like I did 15 years ago. I feel like a lot of people today probably would be more successful or would have been successful if they were given that fair shake 15 years ago that I got. And they don't get it anymore. That's sad, right? But that's the nature of the beast. When you see more money, right? When you see things to be, advertisements to be run, man, monetization, everything's corporate, everything's commercial now. When this happens, things change, all right? And when things change, sadly, they get worse like that, you know? And it was just bound to happen. So that genuineness of making videos in 2009 kind of is lost. For one thing, I can tell you, I love the fact that I can be honest with my audience and we can have these great discussions, and I can open up because I've been there, done that. I don't have to turn on a stream. Well, I got to be overly positive, Phil, today, kissing butt constantly, and only telling you rainbows and unicorns because that's going to make me money today. I'm happy I don't have to be like that. I feel like a lot of people do today. You know, that's very different than it used to be, where you could be yourself. It's very hard to even be yourself anymore. Because there's so many people who just want to see that fucking positive oh, I come to the internet to escape from my personal shit. Why do I want to come hear about yours? So God forbid that you be real with someone on the internet, right? You're going to be upset with you. So, anyway, that's just some of my takes on it. You know, it's sad to see things that have changed over the years. But is it worth the hassle? Depends on your passion. Depends on what you want to do. Like, for me, there's a lot of hassle involved with making content, right? It would take away a lot of stress on my life to just quit. It would. But I'm not going to quit. Fuck that. I'm not going to be quitting being a content creator because of shitheads and bullies on the internet. What are I, fucking 4 years old? No. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep making content that's meaningful for me and my audience. And I'm going to say fuck the rest of the world who just wants to shit on me. Fuck you. I got that. I've been shit on so many times, it doesn't even matter. I'm desensitized to it. So I'm going to keep pushing forward positively. And, you know, there's a lot of hassle involved in it. But, hey, if you can make it work. Again, someone asked me earlier, you know, if you're going to start as a content creator, hey, if you're doing stuff that means something to you and you feel like you can resonate with an audience because it means something to you, you have passion for it, then who cares about all the hassle around it? Just do it and enjoy it, right? You may never make a living doing it. Let's be honest here. You probably won't. Most people will not. Anyone who tries to do this in the modern era probably will not make it. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth it to at least try. It doesn't mean that it's not worth it to at least give it a shot, right? You got to be positive in some capacity here, right? Okay. There's so many trolls. This thing is now on DSPReacts. We have so many tremendous amount of idiotic trolls in here. Gotta keep reading them out. If you're wondering what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. So, okay. Some shout outs. We have shout outs here, and we have a few more questions, and I'll probably do open Q&A. Shout out to the patrons. These are the people who still pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. There's not a lot left, I'll be honest. Over the years, these dwindle more and more because now my focus is online streaming and all of that. But thank you to those who still consistently support the content on Patreon. We've got Slayer, American Manga Undertaker, Big Tone 995, Martin, Planet Jeff, Two Bar King, Sean Given, Thomas McDonald, 17 Kyle 1, David Denmark, QPZMWN, Richard, and Stormforce Gamer. I appreciate you guys. There's a certain level they qualify to get the shout out on the show. Judge Judy did a super chat saying new shows are stronger than this one. All right, and that's your opinion. That's okay. If you think that the new shows are better, I'm happy to hear that. Really, I am. So thank you for liking the new content. This is a holdover show from the past, and if you don't think that Ask the King has a place in my content anymore, then thank you for sharing that opinion. I hope others would be honest with me. Like I said, this is actually the lowest attended stream I've done in quite some time, and actually the lowest engaged and supported Ask the King stream I've done probably in years. So, you know, maybe it is time to consider hanging it up. It's up to you guys. You guys give me your feedback, all right? And Blue Kit also just did a super chat. Thank you for that. Okay. There we go. And there was a tip, but it's a small tip, $1 tip, and you always wonder about those. Let's take a quick look. And indeed, it's this idiot, so I'm just going to ignore them. Okay. A couple more quick questions, and then we'll probably do open Q&A for the rest of the show. These are just some random questions I pulled off of Twitter. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really don't get much positive anything off of Twitter anymore. I mean, yeah. Usually I just post up my schedule, and I have a few people who I follow, and they'll talk to me back and forth. But outside of that, it's a lot of idiotic trolls and stuff. I think Twitter really has gone downhill recently, so I really don't get much off of there anymore. But first question is from Bad Moon. You talk about Street Fighter 2 scene back in the early days and how it wasn't. You know, I think I kind of already did. I kind of told you how back in the day it was very different. It was grassroots. People were getting together to play just because they wanted to get better and they wanted to have this social experience. It wasn't about clout. It wasn't about making money. There was no money to be had. It was a very, very different experience. Now, if you have specific questions about situations, I'd be more open to answering. But being that it's more generalized question, I think I kind of already addressed that today. So there you go. Continuing on. Excuse me. So this guy's name was GTA 3 and LCS Memes, but that wasn't his Twitter handle, but that's what his name was, so I just wrote that down. What is your favorite PS2 era GTA game? Would you ever come back and play them again? Atmosphere is Vice City. I love the 80s. I love the music. I love that time frame. I love the Miami Beach kind of vibe. It's kind of neat. And I also like Tommy Vercetti as the main character. But, I mean, if you're looking at that whole PS2 era, the trilogy, obviously it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is the best one. It's got the best gameplay mechanics. It's got the most content. It's got the better map. You know, everything's more modernized and feeling better. So, you got to go with San Andreas if you're going overall enjoyment. If you're going kind of nostalgia factor, then for me it's Vice City. But I think, you know, definitely San Andreas is the best one. Just Twice Trash says, are you looking forward to any upcoming Nintendo titles? What about any new hardware? Any wish list for Nintendo Switch or Nintendo console? I mean, obviously we got the new Zelda. I want a new Mario. I don't know where the hell a new Mario Odyssey or anything is. Mario Odyssey was an insanely good game, and they didn't make any others, and it's been like fucking ridiculously long. 6 years? How long do we have to wait for a Mario game at this point? At one point, they were popping them out like chocolates out of their butt. And now it's like, where the hell's the next one? I want another one. Where the hell are they? So there you go. As for the console, obviously we want a better Nintendo console, but I have no aspirations they'll ever make one. Nintendo has said over and over and over the years, we don't compete. Wrong. Doesn't matter what they say. Reality is they're always directly competing with other game companies. They just don't care to have the third-party market. They care more about the first party. That's great, but then you're going to have entire dead segments where you're not doing anything on the Switch. I have them every once in a while. Right now, we just happen to be playing Metroid Prime Remastered. What am I going to be playing after that? Just fucking sits there, So, it's their fault. They could be doing more. They could be making better hardware. They choose not to, right? So, it is what it is. I wish they would do better. They don't. All right, guys. We have extra time. I'm happy because we almost never do this. Open Q&A with the chat right now. You guys have roughly about 20 minutes or so, a little more, to ask me questions. If you tag me in the chat, I will answer your questions. Here we go. I own the very first Switch, Super Unknown. That's all. The very first Model 1. Do I write down questions on a piece of paper? No, I print them out. See? I take them from all different places, put them into a document, and I print them out, and I read them off. That's how I get the questions. Alexandru says, hypothetically, if all of your supporters vanished overnight and doing YouTube was no longer viable, would you keep doing it for the sake of entertainment and as a hobby? I did it as a hobby for 2.5 years before it was a way to make a living. I keep telling people this. They don't listen. From 2008 until late 2010, I didn't make $1 on YouTube. I did it as a hobby because I loved it. Then I lost my job and I found a way. I said, I can actually make a living doing this, right? Yes, I would still, even if I had another full-time job and everything else, I would still try to do this casually from time to time. Now, obviously, if it's my hobby, I would do it, once, twice a week for a couple hours? But I would still do it. I told you guys, if I won the fucking lottery today and I never had to work another day in my life, I would still stream to some capacity. I love this. I love what we do. I love our interaction. I love the social aspect of it. I just love this. I wouldn't want to give this up if I could help it. You see? No, we're not doing a house tour, and you know the reasons why, so there's no reason to ask. No, I have not read. I have no mouth, and I must speak. Blue Kid says, as the AAA game is getting worse, do I see myself streaming smaller indie games? The thing is, I'm down for playing whatever. I really am. I'm down for playing whatever games you guys want. Sadly, the fact is, when usually you guys say, play an indie game, no one pays attention. It happens most of the time. There's some times that are exceptions to the rule. Like, for example, with Hades, the game blew up to the point where it got so big that by the time that I played it, people cared. But most of these indie games, you can't get an audience for them. These indie games want an audience from the biggest streamers. There's a reason why. Because when a big streamer plays an indie game, then it gets exposure and becomes more popular. But just someone like my size playing an indie game, most people don't care. They're like, this is boring. Move on to the next big game we wanted. Or go replay a big game. Where's your Elden Ring New Game Plus run instead of playing this? I try, man. It's not that I'm against it, but I try them, especially these ones that have been on Game Pass, right? So these Game Pass indie games, why not try them? And I try them. Why are you playing this? Why are you playing this? Right? So it's very hard. Devon says, how many fans do you think stay with you from the beginning? Man, I have no clue. I really wouldn't know. Like, if you look at my channels today, if you look at DSP Gaming, all right, likely I have 10,000 active viewers. And those 10,000 viewers watch the channel when there's something on it that they're interested in. You know, if they like Resident Evil 4, they'll watch that. If they like a chill stream, they'll watch that. But the thing is, they all shuffle about. They're not always there for the same thing. Some people come just for the podcast and leave and never come back, and come back for the podcast the next day. So when you have that variety of viewers, but they're not watching everything, right? It's hard to actively judge, you know, who's really been a newcomer, who's an old holdout. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't answer that question. There's nothing on YouTube that says judge your viewers by the age of their YouTube channels or something like that. You know what I mean? That'd be interesting if there was a metric that says, oh, people whose YouTube channels who watch you have been around for a long time. That would be kind of neat. But there's really nothing there, really, to tell that. So I'm really relying on you guys. And I am surprised all the time when you guys, oh, I'm a viewer from so-and-so, and I've been watching you for so long, and I still like your content. It's good to see you keep going. I'm like, wow, you've really been watching me for 10 years? Even 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You've been watching me that long? That's crazy to think. You realize the 15th anniversary is this September, and I would like to actually do something for that. I know previous anniversaries, I kind of always let pass me by, and I always told you guys I didn't really care. But at this point, I do feel like these anniversaries are becoming more meaningful the older I'm getting, and the fact that I'm still here. You know what I mean? When a lot of other people have left and all the hate thrown against me, but I'm still here. So I'd like to celebrate in September. I'd like to do a special event to celebrate my 15th anniversary as a content creator here on YouTube. So we'll probably do some kind of a special event then. Purple Pickle, thank you for the super chat. No one can see your pants and cares about the size of your butt. But thank you for the super chat regardless. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Why is my podcast so long? It's not. There's your answer. Stop bitching. It's set for the same time frame every single day. Everyone knows about it. I have a big fan base of people who like it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Come back when it's done. Stop bitching. Let's see here. We already talked about renaming the show. You were way late. Someone asked, when are you going to rename the show? We already talked about that earlier. Watch the show for that answer. You're way off. I don't block people who have different opinions than me. I block people who are hateful towards me and spread misinformation like you, which is why you just got blocked for lying. Blue Kid did a super chat. He says, have you tried getting the podcast on Spotify? No, because that's not the point. I don't want to have a syndicated podcast on various different platforms. I don't get anything out of that. You understand? I want my show to be popular on YouTube, and I want people to come to my YouTube channel and support my YouTube channel. Putting the Level 1 podcast on Spotify it doesn't help at all. It helps literally nothing. So that's why I don't care. Other people, they have aspirations to have a podcast that blows up and is in a million formats, and then they can sell the show to. I'm not doing that. I just want my show for my channel. You see? So I'm not touching that. I'm just gonna leave it as is and have people come watch it here. Ronnie Blaze, I don't even know what you mean. I don't think I've ever seen Logan's Run, so I don't understand what you're saying. Purple Pickle did another super chat. He says, Andrew Tate is released from prison. Thoughts? I have no thoughts about Andrew Tate. I don't care. Punished Clown World says, what kind of shoes do I wear? A big floppy clown shoes. The biggest red shiny ones. I buff them every morning with like turtle wax. And I walk around the house flopping. Flip, 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 flip. It makes that sound when I walk to my house. It goes flip, 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 flip. There's your answer. Let's see. Excited to be here, but I will take the rough talk to me as I don't even know what you're saying. I don't understand a word you just said. What is my favorite Nintendo franchise? Overall, probably still Mario. I love things like Mario Kart. I love Zelda, Metroid. There's a lot of classics there. I actually now have newfound respect for newer ones like Pikmin and stuff like that. But I think Mario is the one that's the holdover, right? It lasts the longest. Unbiased fan, you may not realize this, but no one counts the amount of people who get banned anywhere, right? Dutch, I know you're joking because everyone knows that Custer's Revenge is a porn game from watching AVGN back in the day. I'm definitely not watching that or playing that. An Atari porn game, yes. No, I'm not going to play Diablo 2 Resurrected. I'd rather just play Diablo 4 if I'm going to play a Diablo. Let's see here. I will see you tonight for gameplay, Kagome. Remember, there is gameplay tonight over on DSP Gaming. I know people want Resident Evil 4 remake, and it's coming over on DSP Gaming, so. Al Wrong did a super chat. Said, what are 3 albums to listen to through the rest of your life? Oh, I don't know. I haven't listened to albums actively in a million years. You know, in the 90s, I probably would have said like Green Day's Dookie, or one of the 2 or 3 Collective Soul albums I owned, or maybe like a Stone Temple Pilots album, or maybe a Bush album. But now I have no idea. Like I said, I don't actively listen to music anymore. Purple Pickle did another super chat. He says, dark side porn has a nice ring to it. It's absolutely disgusting. No one cares about that. It's gross. How dare you? Okay. Has there ever been a day where I haven't had to ban anyone? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there have been days where I didn't ban anyone. You know, today we're on DSPReacts. Remember, this is the channel where a lot more trolls are allowed because it's not DSP Gaming that's been running for 2 years. This channel's only been here for a month and a half. You get the idiots coming in saying dumb shit and they get banned. But over, just like everything, in time, this channel will become better and it won't be prominent anymore. You know, it just takes a little bit. Oh, yeah, I have every intention of playing the new Silent Hill 2 remake. Have I heard of Logan's Run? It sounds familiar. I don't know what it is, though. I've never seen it, so I can't answer what it is. It sounds familiar to me. Are there games coming up that I'm stoked for? Devon, we're going to, in 1 week's time, on my birthday marathon, we're going to go through the game release schedule. And when we do that together, then I'll be able to answer something like that better. Right now, I don't even know what games are really coming out, so I can't really answer that. But we'll know next week. Oh, my nose is itching. Harvey Dent, I have no idea what you're talking about. Picking PC components on a stream has nothing to do with anything we're doing. I don't know what you're talking about. If you want to talk to me, tag me. I think there's a couple people tried to ask me questions but didn't tag me, so I missed it. Cracker Jack says, I seem to have run out of patience with chat. No. The difference is there's people who are actively trying to be positive and fun, and there's people who are trying to troll. There's people who are hitting up stupid detractor memes and dumb shit, and I'm just gonna I'm not gonna freak out and get angry. I'm just gonna ban them and just move on. So if you notice, I'm not going on. I'm not taking bait. I'm not saying stupid shit. I'm just trying to handle it as calmly as I can, because these people are just trying to get my goat, and I'm not gonna let them. So, let's see here. I got a $2 tip from someone named Just Sayin. They said, will you consider start doing more public polls where you listen to members' game suggestions and we vote for what games we want to see and games we no longer want to see? If a game loses interest, we can vote it out. That's something, you're right. That's something I've never done. I've never voted a game out. I've always let people vote stuff in, but then I usually either just drop it if I'm not interested in it, or if it's lost interest, or I never really have like a public poll to vote something out. I'd be nervous about that. I would be very nervous about that, because if people vote stuff out, what's the point of playing a game for 10, 12 hours and then people vote it out? Well, now I wasted 12 hours of my life, man. I don't want to do that. When I'm playing a game, I kind of want to see it to completion, especially if it's something I'm liking. I wouldn't want to just drop it because a few people are voting it out. I don't know about that. Maybe that's something we could talk about further, a way to make it work. Like if there's a big consensus or something, but I really do feel like, you know, if I've already committed, I bought a game, I committed to playing it, voting it out. Again, it's the other thing too, is another concern, is that a lot of these games if I pay for it, I kind of have to play it. I don't have the freedom to just be buying a bunch of games and drop them and then buy more games. I don't have infinite resources. You know what I mean? So, thank you, Nim Duo. Says, congrats on 95 episodes. I appreciate that. Mark, I don't know if I answered your question or not. I don't even know what you went by. I have no clue, man. Not every question gets answered on the show, though. He says he showed up late. Did I answer his question? I don't know. I don't remember. Am I worried Rick and Morty is going to go downhill after the Justin Roiland situation? I heard it already did. People were just telling me that actually the show's been terrible the last 2 years, and I haven't seen it since past any point. It's like season 3 I was watching and I stopped. So I have not read anything from Franz Kafka. No, I have not. Yes, I have seen the X-Files. My wife and I actually around October were watching it for quite some time. We watched several seasons of it. Great show from the 90s. No, we're never going back to Dying Light 2. No one seems to want it. That would be a pretty big waste of time. Returnal, I'm doing all right, all things considered. Which era was better, the Jackie or Artie era of Howard Stern? It's hard to say. You know, some of the Artie era I heard live because I used to be a subscriber to Sirius Satellite Radio when they moved over, and Artie was with them for the first couple of years there before basically he hurt himself, and that was the end of that. He never went back. The Jackie stuff I heard mostly on their replays. They used to do like the legacy replay shows. They used to call them the tapes, where they would play the old shows. And it was kind of more like highlights of the old shows. I think it worked. I think Jackie worked. I think Artie worked. I think they all worked. You know, they were all good in their own right. Personally, I really liked Artie's humor. I thought that it was pretty funny, the stuff that he would do on the show. But yes, I am looking forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Late April, right? One of the later games in April, end of the month. That should be good. Bloomkid says, will you go back to play chill games like Animal Crossing or Minecraft at nights one day? Pretty relaxing. I'm doing 2 right now. I'm doing Oblivion, and I'm doing Like a Dragon Ishin. We're doing 2 chill streams right now. Would I go back to Animal Crossing? Probably not, unless there was a new one. Would I ever go back to Minecraft in any capacity? Maybe. Maybe one day I would go back, but it would probably be something new or different. It wouldn't be me going back to the old stuff I was doing. So. Harvey Dent says, if I could do the side-scrollers interview over, what would I change? Here's the thing. The interview itself, I don't have issue with. A lot of people still, you know, they were too harsh on you and Adam was an asshole to you. I disagree. That was exactly how I was expecting that to go. But if they had done the interview and just left it alone and said, all right, we did the interview. Now we'll come back to this in the future. That's what they had told me, that it was over. They wanted to talk to me maybe in a month or month and a half about maybe a part 2. And that was where we were going to leave it. But that's not what they did. That's not. They did the opposite. It was a bait and switch. They did the interview, and then they canceled all their fucking content and just decided to do all kind of just destroy DSP sessions for entire shows, which is really messed up. They just milked my detractors for money. And the detractors are very stupid for doing it because those guys don't care about me. And they're, you know what I mean? They literally just milked them as much as they could. And the detractors were that dumb to keep giving them money. I mean, it really was an exploitation of my detractors, which is hilarious. Because did they not say, especially with Keem on the show the day before, did they not say that I should exploit my detractors? Which I refused. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather make positive content. So instead, they exploited the detractors. And the detractors are so dumb they didn't realize. I mean, how dumb can you be, right? But the interview, I knew it was going to go like that. I told you guys how the interview was going to go. I said, this is exactly how it's going to be. I have nothing additional to really add to the answers I've given. I do have some supplemental information to tell if people want to know, but it's going to be the same. I can't put myself or my family at any kind of a risk because of shit people made up about me. The few times I tried to defend myself, things blew up in my face and hurt me, you know? So I knew that was how it was going to go. You know, I wasn't stupid, you know? But again, the interview wasn't the problem. It was the unscheduled follow-up to shit on me constantly for several days and milk my detractors for money. That's the issue that I had. You notice that night after the interview, I felt good. I even did a whole decompression stream and everything. I was good. It was their direct actions after that were messed up. And they really, I mean, I don't know how you can be a moral person and do the shit that they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't get it. I just don't understand it. It does. How can you say that you're unbiased, you're going to be neutral, and then literally you do a bait and switch 24 hours later? Actually, by the way, we're never going to be neutral. We never believed a word you said. We weren't going to say it. You know, we're just going to crap on you now and benefit. Like, wow. I mean, he even said as much in his email to me. Craig said that he didn't believe anything at all up to that point. That's what happens when you just listen to detractors for 2 fucking weeks. It never, the interview itself was a false premise, because when you're going to do an unbiased interview, you need to have both sides. They did not have both sides. They had one side. They didn't talk to fans. They didn't watch my content. They literally just listened for 2 weeks to detractor shit, you know? And then they benefited from it. So, you know, again, the interview, I have no issue. And I say it to this day. I heard, again, I hear all kinds of things. I heard what they did is they went ahead and said that I had issue with the interview. So it's my fault, and no, they were fair to me. No, I never had issue with the interview. It was everything they did after that was completely dishonest. I would love to hear them somehow defend themselves, that it's okay to have ongoing bully sessions where all you do is take in contributions that hate on a person that you just had in a supposedly unbiased interview. That's not unbiased. that shows there was an innate bias to begin with because you wanted to milk the hate. You know, it's fucked up. So anyway, like I said, that's what I mean. I'm done with that nonsense. You really think I would ever want to have another interview after that? I can't trust anyone. Anyone would literally just take any word I say and turn it into their own personal gain. If anything, I thought they were going to give me a fair shake. That was the opposite of a fair shake. What they showed, their actions afterward were 1,000,000%. We planned this from the get-go. This was beneficial to us. Oh yeah, we're going to play Mario Kart on Friday. Mario Kart? You fuckers didn't even come close to doing anything positive on Friday. That was the most toxic fucking duty dump I've ever seen on the internet. But hey, as long as you made money, right? So it's all good. That's what it's all about. Scumbags like that, they're going to just be milk, milk, milk. Whatever, man. Do what you want. I can't stop you. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I know. Ronnie, I know. He says it's a dark life to live if you feel like you can't trust anyone. But look, has the track record not proven that that's the best way to live at this point, right? I trust one person, my wife. Who else am I supposed to trust? Literally, everyone stabs me in the back for personal gain. It never fails. It never fucking fails, right? So why would I bother with that shit, you know? Mr. A, I don't know. You said your message was being removed. It wasn't me. It sounds like Nightbot was doing it because I was sitting here answering questions, right? What would I consider the hardest level in NES games? The one I never beat. The final stage of Ninja Gaiden on the NES. I never beat it. I would love to beat it, but I never beat it. No, I told you, I have no interest in doing interviews with anyone. I'm done. I'm completely done with it. You know? No more. That's it. That was the chance for the internet to treat me fairly, and that's how they wanted to deal with it. So you just ruined your opportunity because I'm not going to bother with it anymore. Now it's just me and my content, and that's all I care about. I don't want to hear about nothing else outside of these streams. Literally, I don't give two fucks about any of these people anymore. They ruined it. They're the ones who blew it, not me. I was there for 5.5 hours, and I did my part, and I lived up to my end of the bargain. 1,000,000%. They did not, so fuck it. You ruined it for everybody. Mr. Puffy Nipples did a $1.25 tip. He says, would you play one of the Uncharted games? Replay one of the Uncharted games. Sure. Sure I would. I own the collection. I don't know which one people would like to see. Yeah, why wouldn't I do that? If that's what people wanted. Have I considered giving more mod statuses out for the main channel? What does that mean? What is a mod status? I don't even know what that means. No, I haven't considered it because I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. All right, guys. Time for the last couple of questions because we're about to adjourn. I will remind everyone, if you become a member here on DSP Reacts, you can watch these streams uncut from now on. Immediately when the show goes offline, I'll make it members only. All right? Everyone else, I'm going to upload these videos slowly. So part 1 of Ask the King will be today. Part 2 will be tomorrow. Part 3 will be another day. I'm splitting up the content to avoid flooding the channel. But if you become a member, you get unlimited access to these streams right away as soon as they end. Okay? Pretty nice to get that right away if you're like the long for. Like you want to watch the whole thing in one sitting. So there you go. Just another benefit of being a member. What are my thoughts on opinions? They're like assholes. They're rotund, very frequently have medical issues. They're usually caked in feces, and they're disgusting. But they're necessary for life. You couldn't go through life without an asshole. You'd have a lot of problems. So there you go. Just saying no, if you submit a short for a reaction, I can't seem to get that into a playlist that I can watch. I don't know why, but you can't do like an active playlist of YouTube shorts. I've tried and it doesn't work. So no, it has to be YouTube videos, not YouTube shorts. I received a $4.20 tip from Ugly Tuna Roll. I bought the Mega Man Legacy Collection. Do you have any tips or advice on beating the games or levels first time playing them? Man. They're all different. Like, seriously, every Mega Man classic Mega Man game added something new and interesting that made it feel innovative and different. So it's kind of hard to give you overall tips besides just be patient. The stages don't have time limits usually. There's a few cases where you have to move real fast because of instant deaths. But outside of that, for the most part, stand around, watch the patterns, be careful with your jumps, and good luck. Right? So someone, I missed the name, but they had asked, am I still considering doing interviews on this channel? Do you want the honest answer? I guess this is a good time to answer honestly. No one's going to want to be interviewed on this channel. No one was going to want to interview by me, period. Not after what just happened. And keep in mind, you know, guys like Keemstar threatening to dox my viewers and fans and people who've been involved with me, literally for no reason. That's immoral, right? Everyone said, "Oh, doxing's immoral." He's already threatened to do it. He's going to not only get dox information, but he's going to contact them, harass them. He already has done it. He already contacted people like Derek, and Derek blocked it. I don't want to talk to you. The fuck's your problem? So that's what I mean. Who the hell in their right mind would want to be interviewed by me? No one. No one wants to be interviewed by me. You're going to get harassed. You're going to get harassed by these fucking people. So, you know, I'm not going to, no. Why would I put people in harm's way? Yes, that was 100%, that was absolutely intended. All right? That's something that I was going to do here on DSP Reacts. I called it DSP Asks It. It was going to be an interview series. I already have one person who 100% committed. I had another person who was interested, hadn't fully committed yet, but was interested. And I had a third person on deck who I've been friendly with and I was going to ask. So I had at least 3 interviews that likely would have happened. And I was going to start doing them actually April, May, June. That's how I was going to do it. I was going to do one in late April, one in May, one in June. See how they go. And if people liked them, I was hoping more people would be interested in coming on the show. Do you really think after the way that I was just treated on the internet that anyone's going to want to be on my channel? They'd be out of their fucking minds. They know for a fact that if they get associated with me, they might get doxxed, they might get harassed. Why would they want to be interviewed by me? So that show is done. It's dead in the water, and it's not my fault. I didn't do it. That these people fucking won't leave me alone, want to harass me online, making threats against my viewers and shit. I mean, how is that even allowed? Literally making public fucking threats against my viewers, and somehow you're not banned from YouTube. Wow. Interesting, huh? Anyway, it is what it is, man. I can't do it. I got it. Like I said, I can't meet people in person. Too much risk involved for myself and my viewers. No, I'm not going to be doing an interview series where now other people might get publicly harassed because I interviewed them. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to focus on what I'm doing. I'm going to focus on DSP versus the internet, these reviews that I'm doing, the long form react once a month, and, you know, anything else that can extrapolate out of that. I mean, now we have Ask the King, although quite frankly today didn't go very well, so maybe we're, you know, nearing the natural end of this show. Again, I would love to hear feedback on what you guys think and why the show didn't do so good this time, why we had low views and everything. You know, let me know what you think. But, you know, yeah, that show, sadly, is dead in the water thanks to the actions of harassing people and bullies on the internet. Has nothing to do with me. I would love to do the show, and I had people lined up. Do you really think they're going to do it now? Fuck no. They're not going to want to come anywhere near me. Okay. All right, guys. I think we're going to adjourn. All right. We're going to probably adjourn. I want to say thank you to everyone for chilling. Ask the King, if anything, is a nice opportunity for me to at least get my opinions out there, and I hope that you guys enjoyed them. Again, a few things I will say at the end of the show here. If you like the console, all right, at the console. I'm reading someone's thing in the chat, and it distracted me. If you like the show, let me know. Leave it likes. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. If you think this show is outdated and it should end, let me know. Leave comments. I need to know. People said they wanted this show to continue, and so I'm continuing it. And, you know, today's probably the first day I saw how dead it was, and maybe it shouldn't continue, you know? But maybe it does, maybe it's just a one-off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But, it is what it is. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you. By the way, Purple Pickle, thanks for the super chat, but I'm not going to talk about that now. The show's over. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, If you're a member of the channel, you could always watch this now on demand in its entirety. You don't have to wait. Everyone else, I will be uploading a part a day. Thank you very much. You can post up questions for the next show right now if you want. Thanks for that. And until next time, that is it for Ask the King. I hope that you enjoyed, and hopefully you got something out of it. I'll see you guys soon for other content, all right? All right, peace out, everybody.